come back different. There will be moments in your life when everything seems to fall apart. The doors you thought would open slam shut. The people you trusted turn their backs. The dreams you chased seem to vanish like smoke in the wind. And in those moments, you will face a choice to stay down or to rise up and come back different. You were not born to live a life of quiet desperation. You were not designed to accept mediocrity. Somewhere within you lies the burning potential to change your life. But understand this, no true transformation happens by accident. It is forged in fire. It is born in the shadows. It is shaped by silence and struggle. Most people come back the same. They get knocked down by life and crawl their way back to what they know. The same habits, the same excuses, the same mindset. But if you are to become the person destiny intended, you must come back different. There is no honor in returning to comfort. There is no growth in familiarity. Change requires decision. Decision requires courage. And courage, my friend, is not the absence of fear, but the will to move forward in spite of it. You must decide right now who you intend to be when you rise from this setback. Will you return with the same broken patterns? Or will you return with sharpened discipline, with unshakable faith, with a mind so clear and focused no failure can find a home in it? You are more powerful than you've been told. But power without purpose is wasted. So define your purpose. Burn it into your soul. Let it wake you up in the morning and keep you restless at night. You don't need everyone to believe in you. You just need you to believe in you. Start thinking thoughts that build. Speak words that strengthen. Take actions that align. And when you return, when you step back into that room, into that relationship, into that business, into that world, you will no longer be who you were. You will be a storm wrapped in calm. You will be a warrior with peace in your eyes. You will be a leader, not a follower. A creator, not a consumer. A thinker, not a reactor. Remember, every setback is a setup for a greater comeback, but only if you choose to learn. Only if you choose to grow. Only if you choose to return with the mindset of a victor, not a victim. Don't just come back. Come back different. Come back wiser. Come back stronger. Hey. Come back focused. There is a universal truth that most people are unwilling to accept. A truth so raw and confronting, it sends many back into their comfort zones before they ever begin the journey of change. That truth is this: you cannot become something new while holding on to who you used to be. True transformation, real, lasting, soul-deep change requires a complete and total death of the old self. You see, most people desire change. They speak about it. They read about it. They even take a few steps toward it. But when the moment comes to let go of the identity they've built, the very thoughts, habits, fears, and labels that have kept them stuck, they freeze. Because death, even metaphorical, is terrifying. Letting go of what you've known, what has felt familiar, even if it was painful, is one of the greatest acts of courage a person can commit to. But it is also the price of transformation. The old you must die so the new you can live. This is not a poetic idea. It is a law of progress. Just as the seed must break open to become a tree, and the caterpillar must dissolve inside its cocoon to emerge as a butterfly, so too must you break away from who you were in order to embody who you were meant to be. The person you were yesterday is not equipped to walk into the future you envision. That version of you is built to survive the past, not to conquer the future. Transformation demands sacrifice. It asks you to give up comfort for character, excuses for execution, victimhood for vision. It's easy to cling to your story, the narrative you've told yourself about why you are the way you are. This is just who I am. It's always been this way. I can't change now. These are not truths. These are tombstones. Each of those phrases buries you deeper into the grave of your old self. And as long as you keep holding on to those beliefs, you will never know the power of becoming someone new. The old self is sneaky. It hides in your thoughts, in your habits, in your emotions. It whispers, "Take it easy." It says, "You've tried this before." It convinces you that the pain of changing is worse than the pain of staying the same. But that is a lie. The pain of staying the same doesn't go away, it multiplies. It seeps into your relationships, your finances, your health, your confidence. It silently destroys you over time. But the pain of transformation, that pain is temporary. That pain leads to something. It's the labor of your rebirth. You must become willing to look at yourself in the mirror and ask, what version of me must die for the life I want to live to become possible? Maybe it's the insecure version of you, the one who always needs approval. Maybe it's the angry version, the one who uses rage to mask pain. Maybe it's the lazy version, the one who escapes into distractions instead of doing the work. Maybe it's the people-pleasing version, the one who says yes to everyone but yourself. Whatever it is, you must identify it. You must confront it. And you must bury it. This is the part where most people retreat. They think transformation is about stacking new skills on top of an old identity. They try to become more productive while still being afraid of failure. They try to become wealthy while still holding beliefs of scarcity. They try to find love while still seeing themselves as unworthy. It does not work. You cannot create a new reality from the same consciousness that created the old one. The foundation must be broken and rebuilt. Death of the old self is not a one-time event. It is a process, a daily funeral of who you used to be. Every time you choose discipline over distraction, the old self dies a little. Every time you speak life instead of complaining, you weaken the old identity. Every time you move forward despite fear, you bury another piece of the old you. This is how transformation happens, not in one grand moment, but in countless small decisions that declare, I am not that person anymore. You will grieve parts of your old self. Don't be surprised when that happens. Even when we outgrow pain, there's a strange comfort in what's familiar. You might miss the version of you who didn't take risks. The one who stayed quiet, played small, avoided confrontation. You'll miss the excuses used to lean on. The routines that once felt safe. But grieving the old you is part of honoring the process. It means you're evolving. It means you've stepped into a greater level of awareness. And with that awareness comes power. Because once you realize that you are not bound by your past, you become unstoppable. You begin to see yourself as the creator of your reality, not the victim of it. You understand that identity is not fixed, it is fluid. You are not your mistakes. You are not your trauma. You are not your limitations. You are the awareness behind them all. And from that awareness, you can rebuild anything. There is no transformation without intention. You must be intentional about the version of you that is being created. Don't just aim to be better. Be specific. Who do you want to become? What does that version of you believe? How does that version of you speak, move, think, act? What habits does that version have? What boundaries? What level of focus? Get crystal clear on your vision, because clarity creates momentum. Every day you must recommit to that vision. Every day you must reject the voice of the old self trying to resurrect. It will try. Oh, it will try. Especially when you're tired, when life gets hard, when things don't go your way. That voice will whisper, just go back. It was easier before. And in that moment, you must remind yourself, easier does not mean better. Easier does not mean fulfilled. Easier does not mean free. You are not here to live easy. You are here to live true. You are here to live full. You are here to become the greatest expression of who you were created to be. And that cannot happen while you're dragging around the corpse of who you used to be. Cut ties. Let it go. Mourn it if you must, but do not resurrect it. The world around you changes when you change within. You attract differently. You walk differently. You see differently. You speak with authority. You move with purpose. People notice. Opportunities appear. Doors open. Why? Because you've aligned your inner world with your outer intentions. You've stopped playing the role of the old you and stepped into your true identity, the one that was buried beneath layers of fears, guilt, shame, and doubt. There will come a time when someone from your past doesn't recognize you anymore. That is the proof that the old you is truly gone. You'll hear you've changed, and you'll smile, because that's the goal. You weren't meant to stay the same. You were meant to evolve, to grow, to rise. So if you're in a season of breaking, of stripping, of uncertainty, take heart. You are not falling apart. You are falling into place. You are not losing yourself. You are shedding your former self. You are not being buried. You are being planted. And what will grow from this process will be beyond anything your old self could have imagined. Every great comeback begins not with noise, but with clarity. Not with a crowd cheering, but with a single, unmistakable vision burning deep within a person's soul. When a man or a woman is clear about their purpose, they become dangerous not to others, but to every obstacle that stands in their way. Clarity of purpose is not just motivation, it is momentum. It is the difference between wandering in circles and walking in destiny. Without it, the comeback fizzles before it begins. With it, there is no force strong enough to hold you down. Clarity of purpose is not some lofty, abstract concept. It is a decision. It is the conscious declaration of what you are here to do, who you are here to become, and what you are no longer willing to tolerate. Most people never make this decision. They drift, they follow trends, they react to life instead of commanding it. They allow their circumstances to dictate their choices, their emotions to define their future, and their past to limit their potential. They may have talent, they may have ambition, but they lack direction, and without direction, energy is wasted, time is squandered, potential goes untapped. Purpose does not emerge from comfort. It is born from conflict, from pain, from seasons of confusion and despair. That is why your darkest moments often hold the greatest clues to your calling. The very thing that broke you may have been the thing that built the foundation for your purpose. But unless you take the time to dig deep, to ask the hard questions, to look within instead of always looking around, you will miss it. You will settle for a life that looks full on the outside but feels empty on the inside. When you know your purpose, distractions lose their power. The opinions of others stop carrying weight. You no longer chase validation, you carry conviction. You stop trying to impress and start trying to impact. You begin to understand that your life is not an accident. That your story, your scars, your trials, your gifts, they all serve a purpose. And when you connect the dots between your pain and your purpose, you ignite a fire that cannot be extinguished. This is what fuels a comeback. Not luck, not chance, not even raw talent. It is the individual who rises from failure and says, I know why I'm here. I know what I'm fighting for. I know what I'm building. That kind of clarity is power. It simplifies your decisions. It streamlines your energy. It keeps you anchored when the storms of life threaten to blow you off course. And storms will come. The setbacks will test you. The delays will tempt you to give up. But clarity whispers, keep going, you have work to do. You are not finished yet. Many people mistake movement for progress. They stay busy but not effective. They set goals but not according to purpose. So they chase money without meaning, applause without authenticity, achievements without alignment. And when they get what they wanted, they still feel empty. Why? Because they never defined what truly mattered. They never stopped long enough to ask, what is the deeper reason behind all of this? Why am I really doing this? When you find your why, everything changes. You become selective with your time. You surround yourself with people who align with your mission. You say no more often, not out of arrogance, but out of reverence for your calling. You don't chase opportunities, you attract them through focus and consistency. You don't fear failure, you understand it as feedback on your path to mastery. The comic story that inspires the world always begins in silence. It begins when the individual gets still, gets honest, and gets clear. It's the moment you stop running from the truth and start walking in it. It's when you finally realize that the answers you've been searching for externally have been waiting for you internally all along. You were never lost, you were just disconnected from your purpose. Purpose gives you endurance. It gives you patience in process. When you know why you're doing what you're doing, you're less likely to quit when results take time. You stop obsessing over immediate validation and start investing in long-term vision. You play the long game, you build slowly. You stop comparing your journey to someone else's timeline. Purpose lets you trust the grind, trust the growth, trust the God-ordained path laid before you. Without clarity, every obstacle feels like a sign to stop. With clarity, every obstacle becomes a signal to keep going. You stop asking, is this worth it? And you start declaring, this is necessary. You develop mental toughness because your mission is no longer optional, it is essential. You're no longer trying to prove something to others, you're walking in the proof of who you were created to be. The moment you get clear on your purpose is the moment you become free. Free from confusion, free from doubt, free from the need to be everything to everyone. You now have a standard, a focus, a target. You don't waste energy chasing after things that don't matter. You cut off anything that doesn't align. And in that space you become powerful. Not because you're doing more, but because everything you do has meaning. People will ask how you did it, how you turned your life around, how you came back from the loss, the failure, the heartbreak, the depression. And your answer will not be complicated. It will be one sentence. I got clear on who I was, why I was here, and what I refused to give up on. That clarity becomes your compass. It directs your actions, your thoughts, your strategies. You don't have time for gossip, excuses, or pity parties. You're on assignment. You're on purpose. You're on fire. Even when things around you look chaotic, purpose creates internal order. You begin to operate with discipline because the goal is too important to be careless. You stop needing to be motivated all the time because purpose fuels you in a way that feelings never could. Even on tired days, you show up. Even when no one claps, you keep building. Even when the door shuts, you find a window. Purpose makes you resourceful, relentless, resilient. There's a version of you on the other side of clarity that you haven't even met yet. A version that speaks with confidence, that walks with power, that leads with intention. A version that doesn't hesitate or second guess. A version that doesn't just hope for change, but becomes the change. That version is waiting for you to make a decision, to get clear, to stop pretending you're confused when really you're just afraid to commit. Clarity requires honesty. Brutal honesty. You must admit what you've been tolerating, what you've been avoiding, what you've allowed to distract you. You must confront the fact that some of your so-called confusion is just procrastination in disguise. You've known for a long time what you were meant to do. You've felt it. You've seen glimpses of it. But clarity becomes real the moment you stop running from it and start building around it. The path will not be easy, but it will be worth it, because nothing in life is more painful than living without direction. To wake up every day without purpose is to slowly die with your eyes open. But to wake up with clarity is to rise with power. Every step becomes intentional. Every hour becomes sacred. You're no longer floating, you're flying. Purpose is not a luxury, it is a necessary. It's the engine behind every breakthrough, the fuel behind every comeback. Without it, you burn out. With it, you burn brighter. Purpose turns obstacles into opportunities. It turns pain into power. It turns delay into preparation. You stop seeing life as happening to you and start seeing it as happening for you. You've tried doing life without clarity. You've tried hustling without purpose. You've tried setting goals without meaning, and you've seen how it drains you. But now, it's time to shift. It's time to align. It's time to define your purpose so clearly that nothing can shake you from it. No setback, no critic, no failure. Because once you're clear, you're committed. And once you're committed, you're unstoppable.